Hopefully YouTube doesn't get you for copyright infringement on that one. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the second episode of the StreamYard Town Hall. My name's Gage Vanatop. I'm one of the co-founders of StreamYard, and this is my other co-founder, Dan Briggs. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm excellent. So today, just to go over quickly, we're going to talk about a number of things. We're going to start off with some of the new updates and fill you guys in on that. Then we've got some questions to ask you guys and a few things we just wanted to clarify because we got questions from last week. So yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's hear about the recent updates that we made.
All right. So this week we added, for all you YouTube lovers out there, and obviously that includes us, given that that's where we're streaming right now, we added the ability to schedule on YouTube. So instead of just like right now, you can go live to YouTube at any time, but if you want to schedule it, you just have to plan a time in advance and then wait until that time and go live. Or you can go onto YouTube and manually edit your broadcast. But we've baked all that into StreamYard now. So when you're creating it, you can schedule your broadcast, you can upload your thumbnail right there, and then it's much more professional. It's a lot easier. You don't have to go to YouTube to edit anything, which is always good because YouTube settings are pretty unforgiving and nasty, I guess you could say. Hey, everybody.
Makes it easier to not mess anything up. But yeah, it's nice to be able to do the thumbnail and the scheduling right from StreamYard. One thing, I guess I forgot to make, I'm learning here. I should have thrown up that nice banner that we prepped and everything, but I missed it. But the point I was going to cover was our referral system, which there's been some confusion on, just a bit of confusion. A few people have messaged me asking about it. So to be clear, it's not an affiliate system, it's a referral system. So when you refer someone to StreamYard, you get a StreamYard credit for $25, a free month of StreamYard. It's not an affiliate system, so you don't earn $25. You just get a credit for it, unfortunately. Also, we wanted to get your guys' opinions on a few different things. Opinions. Want to walk through what the first subject was there, Dan?
Yeah, actually, before I do that, I just want to put up that recent updates banner again. I'm going to hammer up.
Okay. Oh yeah, we forgot about
that. Wasn't all we did. We're not slacking. Mobile is still our top priority, so we're already spending a lot of our time on that. But we're trying to hammer out smaller things. We're just always prioritizing all the things you guys want and trying to decide like what are the top couple, and we'll hammer those out. Meanwhile, building like the big stuff like mobile at the same time. So we've got the YouTube scheduled stuff is ready. We had a couple people that were having issues with multiple groups, like multiple Facebook groups or pages. So basically, they manage like hundreds of groups on Facebook, and they just want to stream to one of them. So they'd only grant StreamYard permission for one. And then when you want to start streaming to a different one, just the way Facebook does things, it's not very nice. As StreamYard, we're not allowed to ask people like, hey, Facebook, could you just let them like grant access for this extra group? And like, there's just a lot of issues there. So we've updated our code so that if you're in that position where you just grant access to specific groups and later you want to stream to other ones, that's much smoother now. And the whole, like, we'll reconnect to other groups if you ever disconnect. Some of you guys may have had like that alert pop up that says you're going to lose access, or we're going to lose access to your Facebook group. You need to reconnect it. A lot of that logic's smoother. So like if you click that, it'll reconnect all your Facebook groups at once. So you just solve.
It came up a couple of times in the community group, just when people were having trouble where they didn't add all their groups on the initial link. So basically we've just cleaned things up a bit to hopefully when things do go wrong, we sort of guide you through the process to make sure you can link back to Facebook easily. So not exciting changes, but important changes.
Yeah, it's like the type of thing that can stop some people from not being able to use it at all, right? So
yeah.
Definitely priority. The other one, this is more of a notification for everyone. Facebook's image sizes when you're scheduling a video is always a tough topic. I've seen posts all over the internet with different recommendations for the optimal size. And I think part of the reason is because Facebook's always changing things.
Yeah.
So we used to have a very specific size. I think it was 504 pixels by 284 or something. And that's because that's the exact size Facebook crops it to. But we found some people would end up uploading like much smaller images because of that. And there was a couple issues. So our new recommendation, and you'll see it in the code very soon, is just 1280 by 720, which is the same size you do for the YouTube thumbnails now. And is like, this means it's the same size as the video we're streaming in. So super common size. So for the future, if you're scheduling a Facebook broadcast, 1280 by 720 is the optimal format on Facebook for scheduled broadcasts.
Perfect.
Hopefully that clarifies things.
All right, some opinions. So the first topic we were going to discuss briefly was the StreamYard community group, because I've gotten feedback from quite a few of you that you'd be interested in the group sort of being a bit more segmented. So maybe there's a technical group and a more social group where people are sharing streams and inviting guests and things like that. So if you guys have any opinions on that or want to tell us your feedback on that and what you'd like to see in that regard, please let us know. I actually let Graham actually made a comment on the post that was an interesting point, is that Facebook actually made some pretty important changes with groups that I'm not fully up to date with. I should be more up to date. But basically the gist of it that I understand is that Facebook will start pruning people from groups if they were sort of added by a friend and didn't really know they were being added. And if people aren't active in groups, they might also get pruned from the group. Don't quote me on that. You guys should probably do your own research to make sure that's exactly how it works. But
no, that's exactly how.
So the point Graham was making was that given those changes and given that the group isn't huge, that probably we should wait longer before segmenting the group. And I think I am of that opinion. Are tags possible to help segment? Yeah, that's a good point. You can tag your posts. I'm really bad for doing that. So I will personally try to do a better job of that. And that can make things easier. But one of the concerns I have with, or one of the reasons why I think segmenting might be a good idea is I feel like some people might get, that are just interested in a particular thing, like people that are just interested in updates might be getting notifications for the group about random shows going on and things like that, and sort of get turned off. And I just want to keep the signal to noise ratio high. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to make everyone happy, but it's not always easy. Given the size of the group, I think we'll probably stick with a small group or keep with one group for now.
Barb's confirming your
must engage in groups. Yes, yeah, full engagement is important. Hey Tish, thanks for joining us. What was the second opinion section topic we had?
Yeah, we got a few of these. We're always looking for feedback because, I mean, we got a lot of, especially in the chat right now, we got a lot of live streaming experts. This is the perfect time to ask some questions. Here's one for you guys. What is the biggest struggle that you guys have with live streaming in general? And I guess another side step of that would be, or another way to phrase it, what's the biggest challenge you see other people have, especially new people to live streaming? So it doesn't have to do anything with StreamYard if you don't want to. Just what is the biggest challenge?
Stops people from live streaming. What do you think? What's your opinion?
Man, I think courage would stop. Consistency.
That's the biggest one. Probably just being scared to go live. It still makes me
scared to go live, but also, yeah, it's like partly, I guess, courage, partly just consistency of like, okay, I'm going to set a plan and I'm going to stick to it for more than a week or 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, not just stopping. Absolutely.
Yeah, just because we obviously see a lot of broadcasts and we see tons of people use our product and other products. So we get an idea of like who starts and then who stops live streaming. I think that's the biggest one.
That's probably the biggest one. I'm trying to think of other big ones.
Persistence.
One thing I had a nice conversation earlier today in a stream with April, and one of the topics is sometimes it's easy to forget some of the more technical people forget how, if you're not super into computers and you're much more into other activities, like you forget things you take as a given that everyone would know is not super intuitive. So right. I think that turns a lot of people off that they actually could benefit from live streaming, but they're just not familiar with the terminology. Like as basic as it is, they don't understand what a new window is or what a new tab is. Right. So as simple as that might sound to someone that uses computers regularly, if instructions aren't super basic and super clear, someone's just like, I can't handle this, I can't deal with that. So I imagine there's a pretty significant percentage that get turned off by that.
Yeah.
Eileen. Yeah, you have to make videos all the time, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got some unique struggles, Eileen.
At least you have lots of content to talk about, though. That's part of it's probably good. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Eileen.
That's awesome. No, I totally get that one. And I agree. I think the biggest struggle is a very generic question. Like totally depends where you're at. If you've never live streamed before, the biggest struggle might be like, I don't even know what it is. So,
hey Ross, thanks for joining us. Our topic is the biggest struggle with live streaming that people are having. Oh, Zakia's got one. There are multiple platforms, and the most difficult part is choosing the one to go live on or managing comments from multiple streams simultaneously. Yeah, that's a really good point. I'd imagine that is choosing a platform is we had some struggle with choosing, which we still haven't really chosen. We might do some on Facebook, some on YouTube. But yeah, choosing a platform and deciding which one's the best for your audience is important. Deciding whether or not you want to go to the trouble of dealing with restreaming type stuff is probably an important factor. Yeah. And then dealing with comments flowing in. That's definitely a new struggle for me because I was most of my use of our own platform has been as a guest. And when you're a guest, it's kind of, you just have the host sort of managing things for you and throwing up comments, and it doesn't seem all that
it's so
complicated. When you got stuff coming in on the side and you're trying to put up banners, you forget to do things. Like even I'm not being very good with the banners right now, but it's definitely a struggle.
No, I hear you. No, that is a good one though. Like not knowing what platform, and then unfortunately the platforms don't make it easy to go to both at the same time because of their rules.
Yeah, they have strange terms of service, so it can be nerve-wracking, especially if you have a big channel that you don't want to risk getting flags and stuff on, because even Facebook and their policies, it's like, yeah, you shouldn't do it, but in these certain scenarios you can maybe do it. So it definitely can be a struggle.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys have any questions for us, feel free to drop them in while we're talking, and we'll address them.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is trying to get ideas from you guys so you can actually help shape this platform, and then also just give you guys an idea of what we're up to. So like I think I mentioned this last week, if you're using a product, you often find we're not really sure what they're up to, what's changing, what's coming. So that's a big part of what this is letting you guys know, like right now, mobile is coming down the pipe. If you're watching the replay, you can go back and look at the start to see what we did this week.
Yeah, this is actually something I definitely resonate with, Ross, is building an audience when you're starting out is a big challenge. Absolutely. It is hard out there to get people to watch. And unfortunately, I probably can't offer the best feedback for that because it's something we're struggling with and trying to learn how to do right now. The Facebook group has definitely been helpful. Like if you can form a community about what you're talking about, it definitely seems like that can be super helpful and people can sort of rally around what you're doing. But and just learning, like I have used very little social media before, and I somehow got shifted into being our social media expert. So I'm the one tweeting and using Instagram, and first time I used Instagram was like 3 weeks ago. So trying to figure out how to do stories and all that kind of stuff is new for me. Let's see here. Barb, content decisions are biggest struggle for folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just what to actually put out. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge that I find as well.
Yeah, like what are you going to talk about, right? I do think like what we're doing now, it's kind of this weird thing because we're obviously this is a community for StreamYard and live stream for StreamYard, and we're using our own product. But I could also see like if we had a product for a sleep tracker app or some random thing, and like you could do a very similar strategy, right? You build a Facebook community. You use that community to drive people into your live streams. You use something like this to do your live streams with people, right? Like use StreamYard, get you and your co-founder on here. It's basically the same. We just
what we're doing. It's very meta what we're doing right now. We're talking about what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah, but I think it's a great idea, and we're kind of trying to test out right now, like how effective is live streaming for growing versus posting stuff in our Facebook group or spending more time on emails or text-based stuff. So we're sort of putting it to the test.
I'm liking it so far. I like how easy and quick it is to just push out content. Like we have cut some videos and it looks easy sometimes when someone makes like a nice 15-second video. It takes, maybe when you get better at it and you're not just sort of figuring stuff out as you do it. It gets a lot faster, but for me, it's definitely not fast. And there's nice video editors and things like that, but it still takes me a long time to put together something that looks even somewhat decent. It's definitely time consuming.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Beauty Bubble just saying thank you. Thanks, Beauty Bubble, for moderating our chat, by the way. It's very kind of you.
No kidding.
That's a new one for me as well. I never added a moderator to a YouTube chat, so that was another new experience.
Hey, you got to do it. Yeah, like just to give everyone a rough background here, because like a lot of you guys have talked to Gage before. I've talked to very few of you before, but even still, I was thinking we could give like a rough background of where we come from, so you guys, you know where we're at and kind of a little bit of our history. So Gage and I actually both went to university together. About, I guess we started 8 years ago at university.
Sounds like a long time.
So we started university, graduated high school, started university 8 years ago. Gage is actually from Portland, Oregon, and I'm from a tiny town on the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island. So I'm on a small town on a small island on the west coast of Canada. And both of us went to the University of Victoria for school and actually ended up being on the first floor, or sorry, the same floor, I guess it was also the first floor,
yeah,
in our residence building, and met each other there and started doing homework together. But interestingly, neither of us took computer science. So Gage was in electrical engineering, I was in mechanical engineering, and we finished our degrees. But throughout that time, we ended up being roommates and living together and doing a whole bunch of side projects together, and both just fell in love with programming like 5 years ago, and have basically been building products ever since. And this is our most recent one.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
Quite a change though from the first year of mechanical and electrical engineering.
Yeah, it's still problem solving, but I like it way better, to be honest. Like the speed that you can move at when you're programming versus wiring things or soldering things is definitely a nice change.
Yeah.
Ross had a good input here. Consistency is hard. Yeah, having a day and time when you go live is a major help when starting out. It's great that you have a regular time slot for your town halls. It will become part of our Sunday routine. Perfect. That's exactly what we're going for. And we have Eddie joining in. Hey, Eddie, thanks for hanging out with us. You're a great sport. Eddie was on April's show with me for like an hour, so that was super nice of him. I think he was actually on a little longer than me. Yeah, maybe that might have been like 3 hours actually. So yeah, thanks a lot, Eddie. It's very nice of you.
Right on.
So yeah, it's good background. If you guys have any more questions, just drop it in the chat. We'll probably wrap things up pretty here, so you guys can go back to your nice Sunday evening,
or wherever it is. It's so easy to forget. Yeah. Right? I mean,
one thing that I might try experimenting with that I've never done before is I've seen a lot of people doing Facebook watch parties, and those seem kind of fun. So I'd be curious if you guys like the idea of that at all. Do you think it'd be fun for us to do maybe like a watch party of the town halls maybe the day after? Because the Graham, actually, I should credit, Graham made that suggestion to me just so people from EU could tune in at a more reasonable hour to see what we're up to.
Yeah, what is it, 4 a.m. for them, right? Or 2 a.m., I guess.
Yeah, it depends where in the EU, yes, but yeah, it's not optimal viewing hours.
Monday morning, 2 a.m. That'd be dedication.
Eddie, yes, Ross is on point there. Consistency is key to growing, especially with live streams. Your audience grows to expect it, and that's what you want. Awesome.
Yeah.
And Barb confirms. One thing that maybe we could talk about, Dan, that'd be kind of fun is I've been noticing in the group lots of questions about how to get the best picture quality and how to get the best streaming setup, which probably seems kind of ironic coming from me because I know I don't look great on YouTube because I haven't optimized my setup yet, which the reason for that is because I'm on a very strange type of computer. And I'm just using my earbuds mics, but I will improve. I promise. I'm going to get a separate computer and optimize it perfectly for streaming, and you guys will see how easy it is. So I guess the number one thing, I might be preaching to the choir here. The people watching here probably are all experts about it, but in case anyone watches the replay, we can talk about it. Bandwidth. Bandwidth is absolutely key, but maybe bandwidth is not the most important one. I think the most important one is probably the quality of your connection, because you actually don't need that high of bandwidth to have a good experience on StreamYard. Like if you have a solid 5 megabytes, megabytes probably.
Bits.
If you have a solid 5 megabits per second up connection, 5 megabits per second down connection, as long as you're wired in or your Wi-Fi is solid, that's plenty. Like you'll be fine. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. I'm quoting that. Those are the numbers we require. That's about right. Yeah.
That's good for us. Yeah. More is better, but
more is always better. But yeah. For as far as bandwidth is concerned, more is always better. So as long as you meet the minimum threshold, you're good. As long as no one's on Netflix or downloading huge movie files or whatever, you're good to go. So long as the quality of the connection is good, which means you're not in your garage and really thick cement walls with Wi-Fi, or you're in a Faraday cage or something crazy. As long as you're either wired in, your Wi-Fi connection's good.
There's the electrical engineer coming out.
I'm curious if anyone gets that reference, the Faraday cage. Not an effective place to stream. You won't have very much luck. So it's key thing, quality of connection and minimum bandwidth. That right there will put you ahead of many people that are often having issues in all kinds of streaming groups. Like, why is this not working? Why am I having problems? It's probably that. Yeah. And then after that, the most important thing, people sort of go back and forth with video quality versus audio. My vote, I think, is on audio. Would you agree with audio?
You know what I would put it on? I would put it on, you need to have like a little bit, at least enough of both. And then after that, I'd put it on.
Just a bare threshold.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like I think the first little bit of video, so that it's not just like complete, like unwatchable. But then I would agree that audio in general is.
Okay. I'm going to take a hard stand on it. I say audio. Audio is most important. Sort out audio. Don't be me. Don't do what I'm doing. Get a nice mic. And then as long as you have good, lighting. Lighting is even more important than the web camera, so I hear. I wouldn't know because I'm completely unprepared. But lighting with a half decent web camera goes a long way, so I hear. We got quite a few comments here, so let's run through them. Eddie talking about watch parties. Watch parties are getting some good views / reach here lately. Facebook pushing them as well, I see. Yeah, that's partly why I brought it up. I've been seeing them all over Facebook, and they seem kind of fun. You can be more interactive with the people watching since you're not in the live stream anymore. So
you want to just explain it really quickly?
A watch party?
Yeah. Or do you not?
I might not do a very good job. So as far as I know, a watch party is basically you can select a queue. You can select one video or a queue of videos.
Yeah.
And then it's like a post on Facebook. You make like a watch party post and queue up these videos, and then you can invite people to the watch party, and it basically puts all of you on the same timeline together. So you're all watching the video and experiencing the video / videos at the same time, and then can talk in amongst each other. Like, it's very cool. I really like the idea of it. I
remember us playing around with building something like that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to watch videos together. Yeah, basically exactly.
Watchtogether.com, I think we were going to call it.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more effective on.
I think our exact wording is like, why on earth isn't Facebook doing it? It's like,
right, yeah. Or YouTube, right?
Yeah, or YouTube. YouTube would be awesome. I don't get why YouTube doesn't do it. I would just do it on, like, there's so many people on YouTube. When you go to watch a video, I would just show a chat of people that are watching at the same time.
Have a real-time chat.
I would love that. Because you'd meet people that were into the video you're watching, right? And at any random time, it's like you just see people chatting.
Yeah.
Chats on YouTube are often pretty out of hand, but it still seems like it'd be fun.
Yes, it's not the best environment. So maybe that's why.
To me, it's always best to have your machine hardwired with internet, but your Wi-Fi signal needs to be strong, if not, obviously. Yes, fully agree with that. We'd like to thank everyone for watching the StreamYard Town Hall today. Yes, we would. And all those in chat, there's a deep appreciation for use of #TheYard. There is a deep appreciation indeed. And thank you for, if she watches, I don't know if she's watching, hopefully she watches the replay. Shannon, I think, is the first one that coined #TheYard, so thanks, Shannon.
I think
if you guys notice, she's always, I didn't realize what she was doing for the first like 5 or 6 points, but after, I thought it was so funny. I guess she keeps like her own scoreboard of how we're doing and then makes comments like, that's 23 for #TheYard or 24. Yeah. I think we're in the 30s now, so thanks, Shannon.
I'm sure a few people have posted in our Facebook group just a question or something, and then her comment like, that's 29 for #.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just waiting for the day where we start losing points. That'll be a sad day.
-1.
I think the number went down. Oh, no.
That's good.
Okay, Ross, like Eddie said, a wired Ethernet connection is better than Wi-Fi for transmitting video. Yes, lighting helps the quality of the picture, as does an external webcam. DSLR camera or camcorder. Absolutely.
For sure.
And Ross agrees with me on audio is the most important part.
Oh, I thought that audio is the most important part of your life. Now there's an interesting statement. Sounds like a music buff for us.
Thank you guys for all the tips, by the way. This will be helpful for people. Eddie, more tips from Eddie. Stabilize your web camera, number 1. 2, upgrade your audio. 3, upgrade your lighting. Those are my top 3 in order of what is important for quality video content. Awesome. And I will start following those very soon. I'm going to get one of those ring lights. I'm going to get a Yeti mic. Maybe I'll even get the fancy, what do they call those things that stop the p noise?
Oh, pop filters.
Pop filter. Maybe I'll get a pop filter.
I don't have one on, but I took it off because I didn't think I needed it.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely, is that the only thing it does? Because I feel, it's probably just because people that have them generally have better audio in general, but it seems like when people have them, things sound good. But I'm guessing it's just because anyone that goes to the trouble of a pop filter has a pretty good mic. One
thing I got to give it, they look good. I like the look of pop filters.
They look cool. You feel like you're in a radio station. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Elizabeth,
one of the reasons I like StreamYard is that you don't have to be hardwired to the internet to get a good quality video. That's true. You don't absolutely have to be. If you have, you actually don't have to be at all. Like if you have a high quality Wi-Fi, you won't notice the difference. Like it's to be safe, it's generally good to just make sure you're plugged in, just eliminate all possible factors. But I watch your live streams occasionally, Elizabeth, and yours look great. I mean, they look better than mine, and I'm plugged into the internet. So whatever you're doing, I guess you have a good Wi-Fi connection because it's working.
There's also and we see it with your computer as well, is sometimes you're plugged into the internet and it's very rare, but you're still getting some connection issues. And usually that seems to be related to your computer and not your router.
Yeah. And
we've seen a couple people that have that.
Yeah. That's when things start to get more complicated, like your Ethernet board or switch or whatever is old or incompatible with your router. Like it just starts getting more complicated to fix, but it is all fixable.
Yeah, it's fixable, but it is possible to have issues with your internet, even if you're hardwired. It's very rare.
Yeah, it's usually people like us that have stranger computers you've got a normal computer, but people like me, I guess, that
fairly normal,
unsupported hardware trying to make it work can make it work super well, but that's irrelevant to almost everyone, so don't worry about that. On Facebook, what are the benefits of doing a watch party for an uploaded video versus a premiere? Is there a benefit of doing both at the same time? That's a great question, Ross, that I do not know the answer to. Someone like Eileen probably has a better idea. So a premiere, it might just be different names for very similar things and they hope you use them differently. One of the coolest premieres I saw was actually Graham from our group, Graham Hoffman. His main thing is he does airsoft, which is like toy guns, like toy plastic guns where you shoot little pellets, if anyone knows. But he did a Facebook premiere and it got amazing. I don't know if Facebook prioritizes premieres, but he made basically like a joke award show for airsoft where he was giving out awards to basically companies and players that had done silly things. It was basically just a parody of award shows. It was really funny. And I think he got thousands of views. I don't know the exact number, but it was high compared to his regular content. So I assume there's some benefit to doing a premiere.
Cool.
But I think the idea of a premiere is you have some like that. You have some film you've produced or you're a movie or just some independent filmmaker of some kind that wants to it's like a movie premiere on Facebook type of thing. But again, this is not well researched. You should look it up on your own. And a watch party, I get the sense that it's more just a fun thing. But
I like the way you described the airsoft, the toy guns. It makes me think of like Nerf guns or something.
No, they look realistic. They look
intense. Yeah, I've seen some of the
they hurt too. It's not like they might get offended by the word toy. They hurt. It's like paintball. It hurts.
Yeah. I've always thought they're like decked out in full gear and.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Yeah. It looks real. Yeah, it definitely looks real.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
Good to know about Wi-Fi. Yes, absolutely. Make sure I set up I will. Thanks, Eddie. I'll look back at the replay of that video to make sure I do it all right. I think you said it was the heart setting or something. I'll do it. Oh yeah, Dan's got a Yeti. We'll see what he's on.
I've got it's like it kind of looks more like a spade.
Okay.
That's the one I'm rocking.
The Samsung Q2U is 1/3 of the price of the Yeti and works either USB or with a mixer audio interface. Thanks, Ross. I'll check that one out for sure. Eddie also didn't know, so we can both look at it. Comes with a foam windscreen to put on the mic, so you might not need a separate pop filter. Awesome. I also am going to pick up, just for fun, hopefully I can find a cheap one. Maybe we can go to Value Village or something, Dan. Let's try to find some random electronics equipment. I'd like to pick up a cheap DSLR, just because there's been quite a few people that ask about them, and I don't have one to do testing with. So I think hopefully we can just find an old cheap one, and then, because it seems like the idea is you use a DSLR and you use one of those like Black Magic cards to convert it so you can use it as USB. But it seems I've heard people sometimes get audio video sync issues, so it'd be fun to pick one up and do some testing. So hopefully at some point we can do that.
Yeah. Also, just while we're on that, because we've had it's very rare, but we've had a couple people where the video is black. For whatever reason, like a specific camera they have just doesn't work on our website. If you happen to have that, definitely let us know, because we really want to solve that. And again, it's super rare, but I've seen it like once or twice or 2 or 3 times, however many times. We really want to fix that. So if you happen to have that, definitely let us know. We'll fix that for you.
Hey, Dale, thanks for joining us. Dale does the old school live stream. Thanks. It's always good to see you, Dale. Eileen says Facebook's pushing watch parties at the moment. That's the benefit. So do you have any more, is that really the only difference between a premiere and a watch party, Eileen? Do you have any opinion on what the main, did I describe it accurately? Eddie says hi to Dale. All right, we've covered all the comments. All right, any more features we should hit, Dan? Or should we wrap things up here?
I'm thinking we wrap them up. It's been a good
half hour. Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you guys for being active in the comments. It makes it way easier on me when I'm struggling to come up with things to talk about. So it's kind of you to drop in your comments.
No, I had fun, honestly.
No, this was a good one.
Gage and I really hit on this last week, but it's super cool. Like this whole thing, not just like us being live here, but building this product is kind of like now becoming what we thought it was going to be, and it's starting to grow up and starting to grow really quickly. So thanks to everyone that's been a part of it, and especially
super exciting for us. Especially the regular people that are constantly here, like Ross and Eileen and Eddie and everyone that's in the stream, basically Dale, Barb.
Yeah,
it's super cool of you guys to support us. We really appreciate it. And Beauty Bubble, I'm gonna miss someone in here, and they're gonna Elizabeth, Vicky, everyone in here. Yeah. Tish, yes, we really appreciate all of you.
Yeah, if you're using it a lot, or like you're talking about it, referring other people, we definitely appreciate that.
All right, let's close her out. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you the same time Sunday next week. And instead of it being number 2 right there, it will be number 3. You guys have an excellent evening.